What did Erhard Raus do with the crew of the KV-1 tank that stood in his way? On the morning of June 24, 1941, a lone Soviet KV-1 heavy tank stood in the way of a German column. Although the tank was stationary, its crew began firing at the Germans as they approached. The commander of the 6th Panzer Division, Colonel Erhard Raus, was determined to remove the Russian tank from the road, as it had already managed to set fire to 12 trucks carrying supplies and weapons in a short period of time. On top of everything else, the tank's crew managed to destroy all the telephone wires, thus depriving Raus of his means of communication. To fight the tank, Erhard Raus deployed a battery of newly arrived 50mm anti-tank guns. But before the guns could fire even a few shots, the Soviet tank destroyed 2 of them and severely damaged 2 others. Even an 88mm anti-aircraft gun with its heavy armor-piercing shells proved powerless against the tank. While the gun was preparing to fire its first shot, the KV-1 managed to strike. The gun was also destroyed. Those who survived were finished off with machine gun fire. The tank stood like a thorn in Raus's path. The efforts of the sappers, who had laid explosives under one of the tank's tracks under cover of night, were also in vain. The tank stood rooted to the spot, its gun and machine gun continuing to fire. There was only one thing left to do: bring in the tanks. However, to Raus's great surprise, even they were unable to do anything about the ill-fated KV. But the use of another 88mm anti-aircraft gun finally proved successful. The tank's turret stopped rotating. The tank's minutes were numbered. This is how Erhard Raus describes in his book Tank Battles on the Eastern Front what happened next to the crew of the tank that went into history as the Rossini tank. Quote, "One of the sappers quickly threw a hand grenade into the hole made by a shell in the lower part of the turret. A dull explosion and the hatch cover flew off to the side. Inside the tank lay the bodies of the brave crew who had only been wounded before. Deeply moved by their heroism, we buried them with full military honors. They fought to their last breath, but this was just one small drama in a great war." End of quote.